Hello, hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome to the intuitive card reading for the week of June 29th through July 5th. Please like this video if you haven't already done so. Oh gosh, I'm choking on my own spit here. Hold on. Okay, please like this video. Please share this video with anybody that needs to hear the energies or the influences of the week. Comments down below. I'm working with the same 3 decks that you guys are familiar with, shuffled and ready to go. I also want to say there's this noise coming from my upstairs neighbors. I don't know what it is. I have a feeling they are moving furniture. It is not too distracting, but hopefully we can get through this. And I hope it's not too distracting for you. I'll stop it if I feel like it is, and I'll just re-record. But if you're watching this now, this is the best version of the reading. So I apologize. I live in a city. That's what happens. Okay, so yeah, let's begin, guys. What do we need? All right, so we have trickster in the light, transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. Okay, so basically this is saying that our soul needs more unconventional silliness, less stuffiness, less unpredictability. So basically more maybe spontaneous energy, but it's also the trickster archetype, which is more jokes, more silliness, more fun in general, having more of a good time. So your soul is definitely asking for that, needs that. So yeah, I like that. There's not too much more I can say there, but yeah, we'll see what the rest of the reading says. But this isn't always an indication of what will be happening per se, maybe in your physical reality, but it's definitely what our soul needs, right? Our soul needs some more lighthearted energy, and yeah, I concur. Okay, so action needed, we have no place like home. Okay, so this could sometimes mean homesickness, which I'm kind of getting from here. So it's under action needed. So if you're feeling homesick, do something to relieve that homesickness. Maybe it could be taking a visit to home. We have a holiday during this week. It's, at least for America, it's our 250th birthday. Maybe it would be a good idea if you're going back and forth about whether you should go home or not, or go back to your hometown, or whatever your situation is. I would say this is saying yes, that's probably a good idea, but again, use your intuition and discernment. This could also be that we need to feel like home. So maybe for whatever reason your home doesn't feel like your home, and maybe you're thinking about redecorating, or maybe you're in a building and you want to switch units or something. You're in an apartment complex and you want to switch units because it doesn't necessarily feel like home. Maybe you have actually relocated somewhere, you moved somewhere, and it's not feeling like home. Spirit is asking us to talk to your neighbors, start making it feel like home, whatever that means. Maybe this could even be like get a pet that makes a house a home, like that kind of thing. So it's basically asking you to make things more homey. I also think of home as your body, okay? And because your soul lives there, right? It's your home, right? While you're on earth, our souls are in a body, right? So this could also be that we need to take care of our body, okay? So that could be a message for some of you guys out there. But yeah, this is all feeling like more like home, relieving homesickness, but you have to take action on it, okay? It's basically saying like you have to do something about it. So if you've been homesick for a while, or feeling like you're, maybe again, you're in a new place and you're like, this doesn't feel like my home, you need to take actions to make it feel that way, okay? You need to make things more homey, more comfortable. All right, what do we have issues with? Listening. Oh, okay. That's not great. All right, we're not great listeners, okay? Pretty point blank there. So basically Spirit is saying that we're not great listeners, or maybe we feel like somebody's not listening to us. It could kind of go both ways. This is just, it's almost like a reminder to think before you speak, and also listen, not just to respond or react. Listen intently, active listening. Don't forget those skills. That's part of communication skills, but maybe you're not necessarily it's asking us to be a little bit more on the receiving end. So you could also be having issues hearing someone out. Maybe somebody betrayed you in some way, or did something and you don't want to hear them out, and you're like, no, I have an issue with hearing their side of the story, like that kind of things. And those could be justified. We're not saying it's Spirit is not saying it's like a bad thing, but it is an issue. There's some kind of issue with listening. And then this could actually be literal. I'm just going to throw it out there because, but maybe you have some hearing issues this week. That's quite literally, if you took it literally, that would be what this card is talking about. But it can be it, right? This is a reading for the collective, so it really could be, it could be anything. Guys, I'm so sorry I just want to pause and say I'm really sorry about all the noise. The ambulance is outside, the people above me, and then I'm pretty sure I just got a package, so my doorbell rang. So I'm really sorry, I apologize, but let's keep going. All right, challenge. We have Father in the Shadow, dictatorial control, abusive authority. Okay, being a dictator, essentially, not having like a relationship, telling people what to do. It's sort of similar from the mother in a way, where the mother could be like a little bit more controlling. This is kind of like telling you what to do kind of situation, abusive authority. All right, so it's saying challenge. All right, so we might have issues with a father figure. That could definitely be what this energy is talking about for sure. Some kind of, again, we have a holiday here in the States, so possibly you guys are seeing family. That makes sense. So a challenging relationship with a father figure. Doesn't have to be your exact bio dad. We might just have issues with authority in general. This could be a challenging relationship with a dictator-like boss. This could be a challenging relationship with a dictator in general, if you guys get my drift here in America. So it's very so this is kind of scary, because this could mean the dictator-in-chief is off the rails, and it could be very challenging this week. I mean, I think it's challenging every week, but the fact that it's coming up here scares me a little bit. It is the 250th birthday of America, but we'll see what exactly that means. But yeah, there is some kind of, trying to control your life, trying to control your decisions, abusing authority over you, that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't love that, but let's keep going. Change. Okay, guys, look what we got here. We have the between worlds, limbo. We have change in limbo. Okay, so what's changing is we really, really feel like we're in limbo. Okay, I am feeling that too. I am feeling like I cannot wait. Guys, don't forget to check out the July video, okay? Because I haven't done it yet, so I don't know the energies, but I will say I'm excited to see what it is, because they're not exactly speeding up, but I can feel like they're speeding up, if that makes sense. Like I can actually start to feel the change coming. And I know some of you guys have been in limbo for a really long time, but this is basically saying, like, you really do feel that way, but I wouldn't be surprised if the poise card comes out, because that's the card of confidence and like being ready to jump. So like we're more so on the, like we can see the light at the end of the tunnel is like a really good way to put that. Oh gosh, it's so noisy. Guys, sorry, I'm really trying to get through this. So we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that's really great, but still in limbo. But like I said, the limbo is there. So it could also say like we're changing out of the limbo. Okay, that's why I'm saying it's more towards the light at the end of the tunnel. So keep going. We're almost there is the best way I can say that. I love that, and I love it there in that placement. All right, focus on thirst. Okay, so what do we really, really, truly want? What are we thirsting for? So it's saying make your priorities the things that you really do want. And this is really awesome, because this kind of signals, I always look for signals of us getting out of survival mode, because when you're out of survival mode, then you can think about the other things. If you're constantly seeking security, if you're constantly seeking safety, if you're constantly, trying to function every day, you're not thinking about the things that you actually want. It's more about the stuff that you need, right? This is saying, no, you can focus on the things that you want now. And that's awesome. I like that. Reflect. Alchemist. Ooh, another good one. Transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. Okay, so you have the power to manipulate. Yeah, you can turn something into gold is basically what it's trying to say. We've been kind of getting a similar message with, hints about like your side hustle, what your greatest skills are and talents could turn into something. But this is actually under reflect, so it's asking you to kind of like reflect on maybe the bad and negative things that have happened in your life, how you have transmuted them and turned them into something a little bit more positive, or how you can do that, right? So, I mean, just looking at my situation, it's important that I really connect the dots and understand the lessons that Spirit has given to me in these last horrible, horrible years of my life. And hopefully I can take some of what I've learned from those lessons and use them going forward in some way, shape, or form that will be helpful or useful. And basically turn it into wisdom. Think about maybe, again, something negative that has happened to you and how you've changed it to a positive, and maybe why it happened, and again, finding more of the silver lining in things. Responsibilities, we have clean it up. Okay, so this is about cleaning things up. This could be, again, in another literal way, this could be clean your house, clean things up after you use them. It's your responsibilities. Do not put that responsibility on other people. If you borrow somebody's clothes, clean their, don't give it back to them dirty with a huge stain on it, clean it, give it back to them, like that kind of thing. That's responsibilities. Or clean up your side of the street. This could also be like kind of like about taking accountability for something, but also too just like putting things away that maybe you have taken out, like finishing something up almost. Like, the way that I think about this is like you take the toys out of the toy box, clean it up, put it back, like that kind of thing. It could be a few of those different things. Money, finances, and career, we have navigation. Okay, so this is saying like figuring out where you want to go. Do you want to go forward? Do you want to go this, west or east? Do you want to go to this department at work? Do you want to go the entrepreneurial route? So this is about figuring things out. So it's under money, finances, and career. So something is telling me that your options are opening up, basically. So you'll start feeling that this week, that you actually have options. Another good indicator that you're kind of moving out of survival mode and things are getting better for you is because you get to navigate your life now. You get to kind of like actively choose what you want to do instead of having to do what you had to do before with money, finances, and career, because something is opening up here where you definitely, again, feel like you have more agency over what you can do and what direction you kind of want to go in. Maybe you have like a lump sum of money that you just inherited or something. I know it's probably not the majority of us, but it's definitely not me, that you want to put into, and you have like a few different things. You can put it into a Roth IRA, you can put it into index funds, you can do, whatever. I'm not going to kind of go into that, but yeah, you can invest in a business or whatever. So there's a few different ways in it, and Spirit is saying like, hey, you have options. You get to navigate, where you want to go with money, finances, and career. It's not so set in stone anymore, which is, I think, a positive thing. The more freedom, the more options and opportunities you have, the better. All right, surprise exorcist. I actually really like this one. Freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. Okay, so I just kind of finished talking about like more freedom here in the money, finances, and career section here. So this is about saying that you're free of impulses, that you're not just working on autopilot, that you're not just doing something to do something. And so it's going to take you by surprise. So maybe you have acted on an impulse before and you are presented with the same situation and you don't act on it. Okay, so that's what it's saying. Oh God, this can mean so many different things. Maybe you always, every time you go out to eat, you always order dessert and you can't not order dessert, or you can't not order something like unhealthy from the menu, and you do that this week or something. It could be something like that. I almost said something small like that, but it's not really small, because it's really about the habits that we do every day that really change things. So this is about saying like, no, you're reining in your demons, right? And you're not allowing them to control your life anymore. And I think that's amazing. Okay, so that's under surprise. So that's awesome. We actually haven't had that one in a while. So yeah, lots of impulse control and just not being on autopilot. Okay, friends, we have truth be told. Okay, so somebody is telling you the truth, or you feel like your relationship after like a hard talk with somebody is a little bit more genuine and a little bit more authentic. Your friend tells you the truth about, they come clean about something along those lines. I see it as like a positive thing. Sometimes the truth hurts, but I don't necessarily think so in this situation. Could be, but it feels more so like on the positive end, where somebody, maybe a friend comes to you and reveals something vulnerable about themselves, and it like brings you guys closer. So yeah, I feel like it's saying, the truth will set you free, but also it will help you connect more with your, again, could be a community, could be a family member, could be a friend too. I do lump in family here with friends, because sometimes that's interchangeable sometimes. But okay, romantic connection. We have intention. Okay, so being intentional in our romantic relationships, that's important this week. I think it's always important, but this is kind of like, this might have something to do with The Exorcist, because it's kind of like saying, no more autopilot, it's time to be intentional about things. Thinking before you speak, thinking before you react, that kind of thing. Yeah, so it's all positive things. But yeah, so this is basically saying being intentional in the romantic connections. This is really good for people that are dating, that are single and dating this week, because this means that you're not going to put up with anything that is not intentional, right? So that means like, if you're really looking for somebody and that's your intention, you're not going to entertain all the other, people that aren't serious about you. You know what I mean? So being very intentional about what you're looking for can help you find what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is really good if you want to start dating, or, maybe have put it off for a while. Like, it's a really good week to really jump right into it. But again, with your relationships, don't just do things to do things. Make sure they're intentional. Make sure, you're doing things with purpose, essentially. Okay, we have what's important here. We have priest, facilitates spiritual commitment, serves as channel of spiritual energy. Okay, so this is really being a channel of spiritual energy. It's important that you do that. So definitely keep up with your spiritual practices. Be kind to others. It could also mean like bring your spirituality to others. So it's important. Maybe this week somebody needs to hear that. I actually have met somebody recently, not a romantic connection, and just like an acquaintance, and they've been really appreciating some of my spiritual knowledge. I could tell, I'm not an astrologist, but my basics of astrology, they've been appreciating, that kind of thing. Like, I actually pointed it out that she always thought she was like a Gemini rising, but now she figured out she's a Sag rising. And so anyway, and that was from me, right? I helped her kind of figure that out. So anyway, yeah, so it's saying like it's important that you can, to bring your spiritual knowledge. Somebody needs it, is basically what it's saying. And by the way, it doesn't have to be like astrology, numerology. It could be like, my spiritual knowledge is very vast, and yours might be as well. And it might not be, and it definitely won't be the same. Not everybody has like the same beliefs, right? And that's okay. But, if, you believe everything happens for a reason, or, any kind of spiritual uplifting thing that you could say to them to help them through a hard time is needed, I will say. And it's important that you say it, even though you feel like you don't want to say it. And I don't mean to stay on here, but sometimes I know for me, sometimes you just read the room, some people are not open to it, you know what I mean? But Spirit is saying no, somebody is open to it this week. So definitely say it. All right, health and wellness, we have orphaned. Oh, okay. Interesting. under health and wellness. All right, so you guys know the orphan card by now. Depressed energy, feeling alone, feeling people don't get us, not feeling connected, feeling completely disconnected, feeling unseen, unheard, that kind of thing. So it's under health and wellness. So I will say this. I already said the D word, depressed. There might be some depressing... Guys, you know I tell you the truth, so I'm just going to say it, okay? There might be some depressing news when it comes to health and wellness. I don't love this here. You guys know I don't love this here. It's not a good spot to have it. I don't love it really anywhere on the deck, to be honest with you, but here it is under health and wellness. So, guys, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but you might get negative news about your health or your wellness this week. And I don't mean to fearmonger or anything, but... And in tandem with being honest, it doesn't feel like a big thing, okay? But I sometimes I use the words major or minor. It really depends. It's like, I don't think it's super major. Like, I don't think we're gonna find out that we have 5 days left to live. Like that kind of dire information. But it might be something that we're not happy about. I mean, that's just plain and simple. And again, that could be like minor to major. I'm not trying to gauge how you feel about it. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm hesitant on saying that. But yeah, so yeah, that definitely could be it. Another way that this could manifest is you're feeling depressed maybe about your progress. I always think of like a weight loss journey here, chronic health journey, chronic illness journey. You might just feel it gets us down, guys, but it might not be like the greatest week. You might not be feeling the happiest, but maybe it prevents you from celebrating for the holiday, and that's what upsets you, that kind of thing. So there's something here. But yeah, sending love and light to everybody. But I know you guys are super strong and resilient, and you'll get through it. I know it. All right, overall outcome. Rainbow beauty. What did I say? I just said you guys will get through it, and I know you will, because we have literally the rainbow right after, saying there's always sun after the rain. Okay, so, and this is saying beauty. Okay, so you have to look at the beauty in things and the aesthetics of things, or something along those lines. So yes, it could be like spiritual in nature, where I just kind of like metaphorically, but it could also be that you are seeing you are maybe have it in your physical reality. So I talked about up there where we might be like redoing the home. So maybe you're redoing the complete aesthetic of your home, okay? And so there's more beauty in the everyday. Okay, maybe you're doing something to your appearance. A few months back, we got a lot of stuff about appearance. I still don't know what that's about, but I don't think it necessarily applied to me in my life, but I can see how this can, to be honest with you. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I painted my nails. I know they're not perfect, but it's the first time that I can actually think about doing something of vanity. So, after 5 years, can you guys believe it? I can't believe it, but so that's my little thing. Okay, so so you're basically being able to see the beautiful in your everyday life, in yourself. Things are becoming more aesthetically pleasing. And when I say vanity, I'm not using it as like a negative thing. Okay, so it's not unspiritual to not care about what you look like. Okay, so in fact, I would actually argue the opposite. Okay, you have to take care of your home, your body, okay? So, and you have to look good, and you have to feel confident, we want to do those things. That's the human experience, and we love it. So, all right, I won't go on a tangent here, but I like it. This not so great, you guys know I don't sugarcoat, so I would say red flag here, but you can get through it. Like I said, we got the rainbow right after, symbolism at its finest right here. So yeah, I like this, guys. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.